This video goes out to all the men and fathers that are out there. Know that our kids are watching us. But I'm gonna give you something at the end of this that's gonna wrap it all together. And the truth of this came out today as we were at home today streaming services, because Rickey truthfully hasn't been feeling the best. Like, we realized that yesterday, and so we said today would be the day we would just rest at home, get him the proper medicine and oranges and all those things like that. And while doing so, we streamed our church service at home, and then after that service I turned to another church service, and it happened to be Lakewood, which I listened to a lot of Joel Osteen's messages while driving the kids to school. And to be more specific, there's a confession that they say at the beginning of each message that we hear in the car. And the kids, they listen to it as I take them to school, and they'll say the confession as Joel Osteen would say it. And as they were getting to see the message in person, they were like, oh, that's the guy that we hear say the confession during our trips to school. And I'm like, yeah, that's him. And they start to say it. And then it was cool because if you know, if you don't know, here it is. During the confession in person, they say a different one than what they say on the podcast. And so the one in person was a little bit longer, which we heard the one in person today as we were streaming service. And it was like, hold on, that's not what he says. And I was like, no, it's a different one. But it was cool because even after that, Rickey was like, oh man, his hair is a little bit longer in person than it is in the photo that we see while we stream. And I was like, okay, that's a nice observation. But then from there, Chrystle was like, yeah, that's the guy in the confession that you say randomly while we're driving in the car home, because she picks him up. She was like, yeah, that's the one who you're saying his confession. And it was just cool for me because I was reminded yet again how much the kids are actually listening and paying attention to the things that you say and the things that you do. But then I was also reminded how important it is, again, of the things that you say and the things that you do around them. One, they're going to eventually repeat. One day, someday, somehow, some way. But then even as we are parenting, as we are stewarding our kids, I was again then reminded of how necessary it is to make sure the things that we're not only doing in front of them, but the things that we're not even what we're doing when they're not even around. Because essentially what you do is what you do, and it's going to come out sooner or later. However, if we want them to be like us, or if we want them to be better than us, we have to set them up for victory. We have to set them up for greatness. And so that means doing the things, being consistent about those things that you desire for them to be consistent in, you desire for them to do, you desire for them to repeat. And someday, one day, somehow they will do the things that they see you do. They will do the things that you exemplify or express around them, because essentially they are repetitors, they are repeaters of actions and words and activities that they see. I know for me, that is so true. Like, I'm a representative of my parents just as much as our kids are representative of us as parents, as men. And I'm even shouting out the men because as a man, I know a lot of who I am, a lot of my attributes come from my father. One being that of being consistent and being there for the people that you love. Like, that is my dad even to this day. Now, no, I'm not living in a household with them, and so, you know, he doesn't have to take me to different football practices, basketball practices, or anything like that he would consistently do. However, what I do see him do is text our family thread when there are birthdays in our family. He's the one that sends the text messages saying happy birthday to this cousin, happy birthday to that cousin, happy birthday to this person. And the third, I'm like, oh snap. Like, on one hand, I'm like, oh man, that's cool because it's helpful because I can't keep up with everybody's birthday. And then on the second hand, I'm like, hold on, I hope my family not looking at me thinking I'm gonna keep this up, you know what I'm saying, in 100 years when my father is no longer here on this earth. And so that is a thought that I think about. But nonetheless, all that to say, men, we are setting an example that inevitably our kids, especially our sons, will emulate, model, and then transfer onto their family. So keep all of that in mind, because we as a Jones family as a whole desire for the world to be a better place because of our existence in this world. And I'm sure you too, you sir, you man, you father, desire for your kids to do greater than what you're doing, and you want to set them up to be able to do so. You want to set them up to be able to do great, to do grand, to do things that makes you proud and the world greater. And so think about the things that you do. Think about the actions that you do in front of them. Think about the characteristics, the attributes, the consistencies, the things that you can do that they will inevitably see you do and then do themselves. Again, me, I saw my dad being consistent. I saw my dad being there for me at practices, and not to take anything away from my mom. However, as a man, talking to other men, as a father, talking about my father, I'm talking about the things that he did. And I believe more of these talks need to take place, because some way or another, that gap has been so big that things have been dropped away, things have been left, things have been dropped away from what it means to be a man, from what it means to be a father, what it means to be consistent, what it means to continue on that legacy of greatness that you desire. And another thing, like, it is so funny, like, oh my gosh, my family, my kids, hilarious. We have hilarious conversations. One that comes to mind that I was like, oh snap, like I have to figure out how to record it or how to get it to you. However, Rain has it is what it is. Rain has this crush, right? And we've been trying to like get information. Hopefully she's talking to her mom more than me, because I think I burnt that bridge. But y'all pray for me, and hopefully I can get it back, because I didn't snap, but my reaction wasn't the best when she let me know there was a kid that likes her at school, and I truly believe she likes him back. But nonetheless, in it all, we were talking about the crush scenario, and my son, who, 6 years old, we love little Rickey. Y'all see him on various videos, and he's like, oh snap, daddy, that's like your crush, who is my mommy. My mommy is your crush. And I'm like, oh yeah, man, that's my girlfriend. And so we have like a little thing that we do. I'm like, that's my girlfriend, and then he like puts his fingers and we run the fingers. It's like, it's a thing. But I do that because I want him to know, beyond her being my girlfriend, I was like, no, she was my girlfriend. Then I took her out, I got to know her, I got to know her family, and then I married her because I believe that's what God would want me to do. So not only am I saying it's okay to marry your girlfriend, it's okay to have a girlfriend, but be intentional about the actions that you have surrounding this idea behind a girlfriend. Don't just jump in and out of relationships, as I did, right? Don't just jump in and out of relationships, but be strategic about it. Don't waste people's times, as I did, right? Learn. I'm not telling this to him, but I'm just saying in my mind what I'm thinking through as I'm speaking to him. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from what I didn't do correctly by understanding how this should actually work, right? And so, things like that, those are conversations that you can have discreetly, and well, discreetly in the sense of like the purpose and intent. However, I believe in time to come, it will do great benefits, not only for him, but for her, Rain, who's also hearing these conversations and realizing that it's not about, having your time wasted. I don't want you to waste your time. I don't want you to be in and out of relationships, in and out of heartbreaks and things like that. And truth of the matter, things that I've even done and calls for other young ladies that are now women, that I'm like, okay, Rain, hey, be mindful. It's okay. I don't know. I'm still working through it's okay for you to be in a relationship. We're gonna work through that, and we have plenty of years, you know what I'm saying? She got 10 years. She's 8 now. She got 10 years. But nonetheless, it all, again, great men. Let's have fun with our family. Let's also enjoy the ability to be a father, to be a man in this world, and to groom and grow other young men. Maybe you don't have the blessing, I will say, that I have of having another young man in the house. Go out and mentor somebody. Find somebody at church or somebody in the Boys and Girls Club or whatever organization that you can link with to be a mentor to another young man, and instill into that next generation attributes, qualities, and greatness that you desire out of the future of men. It starts with one, and as we continue to pour seeds of greatness and roots of what it takes to be a sound man in this world, it will then grow fruit of others that will come in contact with them and say, man, you a little different than what I thought. You're a little different than what I expected. You're a little different than the status quo. And they'll be able to then pass on that seed of greatness. And then last, I think about that movie, The Forge. I was shared. My mom and dad watched the movie, loved it, and was like, hey, I recommend you to watch it. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I put it on my save list, and then I started hearing other people talk about how great the movie was. And I was like, oh yeah. My parents, they told me it's on my list. Boom, boom, boom. Found it, watched it, loved it. And I'm saying that to say, I bring it up to say, oftentimes we have those moments of aha moments, or those moments of, yes, we should do that, or moments of, man, that will be great. However, we don't proceed in the activity and the actions thereof. And here is the video. Here's the reminder to say, don't allow for movies like The Forge. Don't allow for opportunities that maybe you have or maybe you didn't have. But now that you're thinking about, man, I can do better. I should do better. I do want better. I do have qualities, attributes, characteristics that I can pass on to the next generation. And then we go out and do. And then we ultimately see, and inevitably we're all beneficiaries of the greatness of the seeds that we sown in the next generation. So wrapping that all to say, great people, great men, great fathers are necessary. Great men, great fathers still exist. Great men, great fathers are needed to allow for the next generation to have great men and great fathers. We can't complain about what isn't if we haven't done the necessary work to establish what could be. I'm gonna say that again because I need that for myself. We can't complain about what isn't if we haven't done the necessary work to establish what could be. And I believe that as you are great, as you are strong, as you are wise, as you have had situations and circumstances and experiences come into your life to make you a better person, a better man, a better father, you inevitably can aid and help the next generation to walk in the greater that you've experienced, that you know to be true, and that you know could take place. So men, it's go time. Men, let's get it, let's go. Men, let's stand up, let's step up to the plate and do what we know we need to do and make this world a better place. So here I am. It all started with Joel Osteen. You know what I'm saying? The reality of, here's a person that we listen to, here's the reality of them, and here we are today saying that we can do better, we can want for more, and we can experience more if we just represent what more looks like and what greater could be. So I love you all, great people. I appreciate your ears and your eyes, and I know if we grab hold to this message, it'll be good, it'll be great. So share it with all the men that you know to be good and great, that you want for them to model themselves into others. And I believe we will, we can, and we will see greater on the other end. Until next time, great people, peace.